This podcast is brought to you by Most Valuable Podcasts, leading the league in podcasting entertainment.
Hello, football fans, and welcome to The Onside Kick. My name is Ricky Widmer, and as always, I'm joined by the Mark Weber.
How's it going, guys?
And before we get into today's podcast, got a couple of announcemos for you guys. First off, if you haven't already, please check out our Patreon page. The link is down below, patreon.com/Most Valuable Podcast. We got tons of goals, rewards for you guys. We really appreciate if you become a patron. Give as little as $1 a month to the Onside Kick to help us improve the quality of our podcasts and videos that we love doing for you guys each and every day. Also, if you are a March Madness follower, you love March Madness like I do, you gotta check out our Tournament Challenge group, Most Valuable Podcast. Go on ESPN.com Tournament Challenge, look up the group Most Valuable Podcast, or look at the link on our Twitter and Facebook page. Last but not least, next week we will be releasing each and every year, Mark, we do like a March Madness type thing. Last year it was Who Rules Chicago, and Marion Hossa
Hossa, King of Chicago.
The Field of 64.
Yeah, Field of 64, Marion Hossa won. That's so awesome.
We toned it down a bit this year. We have 32 of the best sports movies, bracket style. You guys are going to vote each and every. We got to figure out when the voting is. Check out our Facebook and Twitter.
It'll probably be once a week.
For those little survey monkeys, so you can vote on your sports movies. Make sure yours gets to the championship and wins it all. But Mark, we had a frenzy today in the NFL.
Yeah, what the hell happened? Like, seriously. It's amazing. I'm sitting there, like, ready. I'm like, all right, league year starts at, well, for us, 3 p.m.
Yeah.
Starts at 3 p.m. here in Chicago. I'm so excited. I turn on ESPN. I get my free agent tracker. I open up my favorite, forums that I look at to get people's opinions. And then all of a sudden, what the hell just happened? Why are you trading this player? Why are you trading? Are you sure you're not going to get more out of this? Like, Nick Foles? What? What is happening?
Don't get ahead of yourself.
My mind has been blown.
The first thing we're going to talk about, obviously, what this podcast is titled about is the biggest trade of the day. Yeah.
Of the century.
You heard me right. It wasn't a free agent move that ruled the day today. It was supposed to be Ndamukong Suh signing with the Dolphins, but instead, Sam Bradford goes to the Eagles for Nick Foles in a total what-the-fuck move.
I know what you guys are thinking. All right, you're thinking, oh, cool. Nick Foles goes to, the
Rams.
The Rams, and then maybe they swap draft picks in the first round, right? That makes sense. No, none of this makes sense. Ricky, I know you had it pulled up just a little bit ago. Run down what the actual picks that are being traded in, because it doesn't make sense.
Well, and I believe what was going on is the Eagles sent Nick Foles,
yes,
a 4th rounder for this year and a 2nd rounder for next year.
Yeah.
That's what went to the Rams. What the Eagles got in return,
a box of cookies, first of all,
was Sam Bradford and a 5th rounder this season.
And a nice thank you card.
So basically what they did was they swapped quarterbacks. The Eagles moved down in this year's draft while the Rams moved up around. And then the Eagles said, nah, we don't need a 2nd round pick next year. Just take it.
Here's my thing, all right? It doesn't make sense to me, but I'm sitting here going, first of all, I do have a conspiracy thing that I will run down later. Gotta mention it.
Do it.
But
I want that now.
This is what my conspiracy is.
Now, Mark.
My conspiracy is that Chip Kelly is saying, look, guys, Nick Foles is no longer on this team.
We don't have a quarterback.
That good quarterback is gone. So what are we left with? Sam Bradford, the guy who can't stay healthy. The guy, he's not a bust, but he's definitely not worth that 1st round pick that he got. I'm talking number 1 overall. He's not worth that, and we're paying him a good amount of money too. We got nobody. And here's the kicker. After next year, we don't have Sam Bradford at all. We lose him after next year because his contract ends this year. We need somebody. And you know who that somebody is, Ricky? Marcus Mariota.
See, but
gotta go get Mariota now, right?
Well, but here's the thing. How are they going to get to Mariota?
I have no clue. And that's why it would have made sense to me if they're saying, okay, we're going to swap 1st round picks. Because the Rams can say, okay, yeah, 20's a good it's a decent pick. All right, that's cool. And then, of course,
The move
number
up.
10.
Yeah.
The move up from number 10 to, let's say, number 5 is a lot easier than from 20 to 5. That is really difficult, and that involves first-round picks of next year, too. So it doesn't make sense in that case. I don't get it.
See, I don't know. The Jets, to me, if right now, and I mean it's Todd McShay or Mel Kiper, whichever one you're looking at for a mock draft 3.0, they both have Mariota going 6th overall. However, the most important cog in the Mariota draft stock is the Tennessee Titans because, yes, they have Zach Mettenberger, which, Mark, I know you said who?
Yeah.
Who? They don't have a quarterback.
Zach who?
But Jake Locker, only 26 years old.
4 years
said,
in the NFL.
You know what? I'm just going to hang up the helmet, hang up the cleats. I'm done.
I respect Jake Locker for this. Things weren't really working out for him in Tennessee. Partially because of his own fault, too. But he's getting hurt all the time. He can never stay healthy. You know what? You did a smart thing. You got your degree. You graduated from college. Take that money because you also, you got a decent amount of money. Nothing huge, but it's pretty nice. Go do something else with your life. This isn't working out. Stay healthy. Keep your knees. Keep your brain cells. And just go do something else. This isn't working out. Maybe he'll even... Well, I compared it to Tim Tebow because, Jake Locker's a good-looking guy. No reason why he can't be a commentator during halftime. An analyst in that case. But here's the thing, too, I want to say. The Tennessee Titans, they might take that number 2 pick, and that's scary now. They're like the one thing that throws everything off in Chip Kelly's grand master plan in this case, because you can trade above the Jets. You can't trade above the Titans. Titans are number 2. If they want Mariota, they get him. Because you're not going to trade for the number 1 pick, because then the Bucs don't get Winston.
See, but here's the thing, and this is what I feel like Chip Kelly right now is... He's trying to be like you used to say about ex-Bears GM, Phil Emery, where Chip Kelly's trying to be the smartest guy in the room. And right now, I feel like the Tennessee Titans have 2 things that they can do for a quarterback. Well, 3 things. One is the easiest. Just stay with Mettenberger for a year. Commit to Mettenberger. Say, he's our guy.
Throw him to the fire.
We're going to go with like a guy like Williams. Out of Southern Cal defensive end. We're going to beef up our defense. Okay, fine. Option number 2. You take Marcus Mariota. You say, Mettenberger, we're not going with you. We have Marcus Mariota now. He's our guy. The third option for Tennessee, and this is a distant option, but maybe it's because of my hatred for this player that I put it out there.
I knew it was coming.
Is the Chicago Bears. They have come out and said, hey, you know what? We're not actively shopping Jay Cutler, but we're not ignoring offers. So if the Tennessee Titans come around and say, hey, you know what? Jay Cutler played some college ball in Tennessee.
Vanderbilt.
And if they offer the Bears just an offer they cannot refuse, Jay Cutler could be a Titan.
A tough thing in that case, too, the Bears have also since then said that they... Well, I mean, it's not that the Bears specifically saying, but the report is now that the Bears 100% expect Jay Cutler to be their quarterback in 2015. They don't expect him to go anywhere. And part of that might just be that, nobody wants that $15 million contract. So we got the guy. It's him or Jimmy Clausen. Who am I going to take? I guess I'm going to pick Jay Cutler in that case. But the Tennessee Titans, I mean, if they want Jay Cutler, and reports before were that they were kind of interested in Jay Cutler. Now's the best time for them to go for it. And I'm a Jay Cutler fan. I want him in Chicago. And I'm saying they should go for it.
Or a fourth option. And this is me because I was just reading the analysis from Mel Kiper's mock draft from a week ago. Or the Tennessee Titans could look at it and go, you know what? We want to make sure we get Mariota for sure. We're going to offer the Buccaneers a trade to swap the top 2 picks in the draft. And they offered Lovey just a trade where Lovey goes, I'd be stupid not to take this.
I think that's a dumb move. Now, what I think could happen, there's no reason why this can't happen, is a call from Tennessee Titans GM goes to the Buccaneers GM. Sorry, I don't know their names right now. But, hey, which one of these guys do you think you can take? Why not? It's no threat to the Bucs.
Yeah.
For them to say,
well, the Bucs sit in the driver's seat.
Yeah, the Bucs, all they have to do, I mean, the Bucs can say, we're not telling you, but what do they have to lose to go,
Yeah.
we really like Winston. We're leaning that way.
Mm-hmm.
We're leaning towards Winston. And then for the Tennessee Titans to go, okay, cool. We're leaning towards Marcus Mariota.
Yeah.
There's no harm in that. Will it happen? Probably not. But there's no harm in that phone call happening. I think this is really the wrench in the plan for the Philadelphia Eagles.
For Chip Kelly.
Because Chip Kelly, as much as I say that conspiracy theory of he's saying, hey, we got no quarterback, looks like we got to go get my guy, the Tennessee Titans are the wrench in that plan out of nowhere because they had to trade above the Jets to make this really happen. But for him, there's got to be some master plan that he has working right now to really shape this team into his creation because he makes almost all the decisions.
Oh, he does make all the decisions.
Personnel-wise, he's making all the decisions. So I don't know. For me, I'm sitting here going, are we going to have 2 Oregon offenses in college football next year? Because Chip Kelly is making a lot of moves, and he's betting almost everything on getting this one guy and having his plan work out perfectly. Because he just shot himself in the foot here.
You know what's the most important move for Chip Kelly, and it has nothing to do with the NFL draft?
What's that?
Getting DeMarco Murray.
That would be huge.
Well,
yeah.
And the reason I say that is Chip Kelly. If you have been living under a rock, here's the move they made. Last season, they traded Deshaun Jackson away. This year, they basically let Macklin walk. He's now with his old coach, Andy Reid, in Kansas City. Maybe he'll catch a touchdown pass. We don't know.
Someone's got to do it.
Wide receivers tend to not catch touchdowns in KC. He also trades LaShawn McCoy to the Buffalo Bills for Kiko Alonso, his guy, an Oregon back. And there was rumors, well, it was not rumors, it was pretty much a done deal, they said, that Frank Gore was going to sign with the Eagles. And it was like early last night, they said, okay, he's going to sign with the Eagles. Big move. Oh, this is a great move because now Chip Kelly has, he can use a back like Darren Sproles to do everything that McCoy did and then use Gore on the goal line to just punch it right in.
Got a nice bruiser.
Because he didn't have that. Well, Frank Gore at the last second said, you know what? The Eagles might not be a championship team, but this team over here in Indy, I like that quarterback.
I like this Andrew Luck guy.
This guy can win.
I really want to know what was that deciding point for Frank Gore to go, you know what? Indianapolis sounds kind of nice.
Well, you know what? This is what I think it was. The life of a running back, which, to speak about that, a little bit off topic, but on the running back thing, did you know that Steven Jackson has created a website called SaveTheRunningBack.org?
Oh, nice.
It is a web, and I kid you not, it's a website where all it's about is saving the every down back because they're going away. And it even has a part where it's write your franchise. You add in your email address, you select your team. There's an already pre-written message about how running backs aren't all the same. They're not interchangeable. I yearn for days of the yesteryear when players like Walter Payton, Barry Sanders, and Emmitt Smith were allowed to run free. The NFL was built on the carries of men like them. And it goes on. You just put your name and it's signed. And it actually sends a letter to your favorite franchise to save the everyday running back. I saw a company. Let me put it this way. They spent money on an advertising spot for this.
Nice. I mean, you can buy T-shirts, too.
You could.
They got an I Heart Running Back T-shirt.
And they do have a hashtag.
Hashtag STRB.
I saw that. I saw the commercial with Steven Jackson, and it just made me go, what the fuck? Really?
Steven Jackson wants to keep a job.
Really? Oh, yeah, the guy with no knees.
Yeah, he wants a job.
Or is it ankles? Whatever. His legs, his hamstrings, it's something.
I'm sitting here going, whatever, I got an every down running back. I don't care.
What, Matt Forte?
Yeah, Matt Forte runs every down because nobody else can do it.
But back to the Eagles, they need DeMarco Murray.
They need something, that's
If DeMarco Murray goes somewhere else, they're screwed. Mm-hmm. It's simple. They're screwed because I don't think Darren Sproles is that number one back. To be honest, I think that out of their trade with the Rams, The Eagles got the raw end of the deal just on players alone. I like
The
Nick
Eagles
Foles.
got nothing.
I like Nick Foles way better than I liked Sam Bradford.
The way I see it, the Eagles allowed the Rams to offload a
Sam
burden
Bradford.
a burden of Sam Bradford basically for nothing. Because they lost next year's pick. I don't understand, to me, what value Chip Kelly possibly sees in Sam Bradford. Not that other teams might be interested in having Sam Bradford around, but like to carry your franchise? Because it's either him or Mark Sanchez right now. And that's not working out. I don't know if Matt Barkley's still on that roster, but he's not going to be a starting quarterback. So I don't know. It just doesn't make sense to me what value they think they see. It just, I don't know. I will say this, though, the one thing. I trust that Chip Kelly probably knows more about football than I do. So maybe he's got some master plan. Right now, we talked about it earlier, Ricky. We're just waiting for the moment. We're waiting for that moment where we go, oh, that's what he was doing.
Yeah, exactly. And
it might not be this month. It might not be next month. But I feel like it's got to come, right?
You know what I think the moment might be?
When they trade up to number 3 overall in the draft.
No,
and Marcus Mariota.
Honestly,
now.
I don't think it happens this year.
But is he gonna last till next year? No. He's tearing the team apart.
I think the moment is next year's draft, where there'll be a quarterback that he can get in like the first round, where you're going, oh, that's what he was trying to do.
I feel like that's luck, though, at that point. The moment for me,
or he's playing the long ball. He's playing the slow play.
Yeah, but he's taking. You can play the slow game when you're the Jacksonville Jaguars. When you have the Philadelphia Eagles, it doesn't work like that.
Yeah,
you tore that team apart just to do it. Not that you can't do that. Pete Carroll tore apart the Seattle Seahawks and now built a dynasty essentially. But I feel like that moment has to happen soon, because if you go 3 wins this next season, I'm sorry, Chip Kelly should not have a job in the NFL anymore.
Or, let's put it this way. Everyone's looking, what if Marcus Mariota is he's the deflection, the kind of illusion, where Chip Kelly's he's like, yeah, I want them to think I'm going Mariota.
I want Brett Hundley.
But maybe he did spend a lot of time looking at Hundley. Maybe there's a guy that he's like, hey, you know what? I can get this guy in the fit. Kind of like Pete Carroll when he got Russell Wilson.
Sure.
Maybe there's a guy Chip Kelly thinks, that's my Russell Wilson.
Yeah, it's possible.
Plus,
I don't know.
At the end of the year,
be something.
I mean, yeah, you eat Sam Bradford's contract this year, but hey, at the end of the year, he's off the books. You're done. Wipe your hands. You're good.
You still got no quarterback.
You still got no quarterback, but to be honest,
but to be fair, you don't have one right now either. So,
to be honest, though, that division, if DeMarco Murray doesn't come back to the Cowboys, they're depleted. They're not going to be the same team that could have gone to the Super Bowl this past year if they didn't. If the catch that was a catch was called in Green Bay, because they should have went on to the championship game, but that's for another story. The Giants are just a clusterfuck. And then you have the Washington Redskins, which are even worse than the Giants.
Yeah. I don't know. It's interesting. That's all I can say. Because it's one of those things. I can't say it enough.
To me, the NFC East,
I just don't see it yet.
The NFC East may be next year what the NFC South was this year.
Here's the thing,
Ricky.
Ricky.
Bad division.
Either Chip Kelly is a genius,
or he's a fool,
or he's an idiot and he needs to get out of the NFL.
It's exactly like Les Miles at LSU.
Yeah.
He's a Mad Hatter right now. He does something stupid, but it works. Boom, he's a genius. Yep. If it doesn't work, he's an idiot. Get him out of town. But I want to jump to a different trade. I got 2 more trades that we got to talk about. The first one, you brought up Pete Carroll and the Seahawks.
Yep.
They made a big move where
they certainly did.
Here's the trade. It's between the Saints and the Seahawks. New Orleans sent Jimmy Graham, Pro Bowl tight end, and a 4th-round pick this year to Seattle. And Seattle sent the Saints center Max Unger and the 31st pick in the draft.
31st pick in the draft's not bad. You got 2 draft picks in the first round. That's pretty nice.
The reason why the Seahawks were able to make this trade, Marshawn Lynch came back.
Yeah.
Because if Marshawn Lynch doesn't come back, the Seahawks need to keep that pick. They're taking Todd Gurley.
God, now how great would it be in a week if he goes, you know what? I am going to retire after all, guys.
No,
See
he's
you
not
later.
going to do that now.
Fuck you guys.
He's not going to do that now.
Oh, that'd be hilarious. But I don't know. For me, this trade, I mean, we talked about the Eagles trade as a bad trade. This is not a bad trade because they had to make it if you're the Saints. You had to make this to save cap room, but it's just an unfortunate trade. You lose Jimmy Graham, who's probably your best receiving option. You know that Drew Brees loves throwing to him. You know Drew Brees is going to miss this guy. However, is so great for you.
What did we talk about last week?
I don't know. What did we talk about last week?
About the draft. What did we talk about? Think back. What position did we talk?
Remember. You're just going to have to fill me in.
It's a position where
rules, talking about wide receiver?
Height rules. Where even there are wide receivers that are going to last to late first round, early second round. This is what I see happening.
And you got 2 draft picks now.
Yeah, this is what I see happening. The first draft pick, they'll probably go with like offensive tackle or something. The Seahawk pick, one of those wide receivers like Jalen Strong out of Arizona State, if he doesn't rise, that's a guy where it's like, boom, right there. They're just going to take one of those receivers, take a nice tall one, say, hey, Jimmy Graham might have been a tight end. However, he didn't block. We're going to give you a wide receiver who's really a wide receiver.
Yeah.
Not a wide receiver that we want to line up at the tight end position.
Although the mismatch option, of course, is going to be better with Jimmy Graham.
And plus, I mean, this last year, there was so much butting heads with Jimmy Graham. And I think it was either the coaching staff or the higher-ups where the Saints Jimmy Graham needed a change of scenery. That's what he needed. And with the Saints, I know you, Mark, you're one of those people that are like, well, why do you do this? It's a puzzling move. I kind of agree with the experts when this gives Jimmy Graham and it gives the Seahawks a guy where, hey, in the red zone, let's throw it to the tallest guy.
Oh, for sure. I mean, it's definitely going to benefit the passing game for the Seahawks. And I think the Seahawks also kind of want to improve that aspect, not just be a running team. But at the same time, this guy's not going to block.
You don't need him to block.
But it makes your offense predictable.
Yeah, but you don't need him to block.
It still makes your offense predictable.
The reason being is Marshawn Lynch will block for himself.
Here's the question.
Beast mode will
Here's the
run
question.
free.
Is Jimmy Graham on the field? Okay, they're going to pass the ball.
Not necessarily.
That's how it's got. He's not going to block.
No. If beast mode is on the field, well, okay, I can't say that because when beast mode's on the field and they're at the 1 yard line, they throw the ball. So what the fuck?
Yep. Imagine Jimmy Graham was out there. But anyways.
Well, no, and that's the one thing on
just
ESPN.
Put those hands up.
No. On ESPN, they said that. And Bill Polian was like, come on, guys. They were at the 1. If they just hand the ball to Marshawn Lynch, they win the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
It's like, come on. They don't need a big tight end. Oh, well, you know what? They lost the goal line. They need a big tight end. No, they need to hand the ball off to Marshawn Lynch. They would have won the game.
For sure. I like there was a few games that kind of get referenced quite a bit with Jimmy Graham and how Jimmy Graham needs to start being willing to block because he's a guy who's not willing to block essentially. Although that probably is going to change soon. But people were referencing games where teams were able to just completely take him out of the mix by just hit him at the line of scrimmage. He's gone. He's not going to recover from that. So I think being in Seattle, which is a tough team, a team that they had that us against the world mentality. I don't know if it works as much now, but they still have the Legion of Boom and all that good stuff. They're kind of the villains.
Yeah.
That needs to infect Jimmy Graham a little bit. Jimmy Graham needs to get a little of that bad boy attitude and think, you know what? I am tough. I can take some of these guys out. I can do a block. I can help out this team a little bit. I think that's going to help Jimmy Graham out. I just feel bad for the Saints. I mean, I know you get a nice center. It improves your offensive line. You get 2 draft picks.
You get another first-round draft pick. And, I mean, Drew Brees even said, like, man, I'm shocked. I love the guy. But to be honest, Drew Brees is getting old. They got to think about the future.
For sure.
I mean, with the Saints, it might be like, really? They're thinking about, you got to think about the future a little bit.
Always got to think about the future.
And, I mean, maybe trading Jimmy Graham will be a good thing. The other trade that happened a little bit closer to home for us because it went on in the NFC North. The Detroit Lions, they lost Ndamukong Suh, but it doesn't matter because they found their replacement.
Don't say doesn't matter when referring to losing Ndamukong Suh.
They found their answer for right now, however, to fill that spot in Haloti Ngata. The Ravens receive a 4th and 5th round pick this year from the Lions, and the Lions get Ngata and a 7th rounder.
Yeah. it's a good, and you had to do something.
Mm-hmm.
And this was the best. I think this really was the best thing they could have done. It's better than drafting someone and hoping out that it works. Losing you said 4th and 5th, right?
Yep. The Lions gave up a 4th and 5th for 7th.
It is a little nervous when you lose out that middle section in the draft. Those are the guys who flush out your team. Those are important players.
Yeah, but I think for the Lions, it's more important to fill the hole of Ndamukong Suh before you worry about filler guys. You need to fill the hole. And with the Ravens...
It does make for a hollow team, though.
And with the Ravens, they're a team where, they had guys step up last season. Mm-hmm. So they were already kind of pushing Nada out the door. It was like, you know what? We don't need him. We'll shop him. The Lions were like, hey, we'll take him off your hands. We need a guy. Come on,
defense? Defensive line? Hell
Gimme always gets.
Yeah, I think it's interesting. I don't know. Interesting decision because you do fill in that immediate hole. It's going to make an impact. You do run a risk of having your team get a little hollow. You had to do it, though. I mean, you really did. You had to do it. Interesting thing, though, with defensive players in Baltimore, they typically don't do as good outside of Baltimore because Baltimore is there's so many good defensive players there. Mm-hmm. They all help each other out. So I'm excited to see how that's going to work with Nada. Excited to see, of course, with McPhee coming to Chicago, how that's going to work out. It's a little different when you don't have a Pro Bowl linebacker on the other side of you helping you out, and when you're having to be the Pro Bowl linebacker. So I'm very interested to see how that signing works out too.
Before we get to the actual free agent signings, we do have one more trade. It kind of happened earlier in the week. We knew it was going to happen. It is now official. Mm-hmm. Your boy, Mark.
Yep.
Your boy, Brandon Marshall, no longer wearing the blue and green. He's now a white and green.
Blue and green.
Blue and orange, I meant.
Oh, Ricky, you get that green out of Chicago, man.
Blue and orange, pardon me, for the Bears. He is now wearing white and green. He's going to be a Jet.
I when this first happened, I wasn't too happy about it.
I was shocked. I woke up to that news.
And I kept saying, I'll own up to it, I was wrong on this one. I kept saying there's no way Brandon Marshall leaves Chicago. He's the best wide receiver we've ever had. He still is the best wide receiver we've ever had. And it blows my mind. And the kind of thing I was thinking of, you're going to keep Jay Cutler. That's going to happen, whether you want it to happen or you don't. So why don't you give him a weapon that he loves to throw to, right? Let him stay.
Well, and this is the thing that boggles my mind a little bit, is not only do you give away Marshall, who, I forgot this until ESPN brought it up.
Never been to a playoff game.
They were just trying to, stab the open wound of every Bear fan when, before they talked about this the day it happened, they replayed the moment in, it had to be, not even a year ago. It happened in 2014. He's signing the extension on the View. Oh, he's becoming the highest paid wide receiver. I'm happy to be a Bear. I'm doing it here on the View. Year later, you're getting traded for a 5th rounder, and it's like, hey, you know what? We'll give you Marshall and a 7th rounder for that 5th.
Yeah, really. That's one. Here's the thing: when it comes to a new ownership for your team, there's times where you're not going to understand. Same thing I was saying with Chip Kelly. I think it's a dumb move, but I'm willing to admit that Chip Kelly knows more than I do, and he's got a plan. This is the same thing with John Fox and Pace. I'm willing to admit they know more than I do. They've got an idea, so I don't think it's a good idea to get rid of Brandon Marshall. There's
only one good
Bears
thing.
Never have, but I'm okay.
There's only one good thing I can come from this.
What's that?
You freed up some cap space. I think it's $7 million you guys freed up? Whereabouts?
Probably somewhere around there.
My question to you, because you're the Bears fan in the room.
Yes, I am.
One of the big releasings that we had this week, of course, the Bears didn't get Torrey Smith. We'll get to him in a second. But
which I'm okay with.
There's a big-time free agent wide receiver who everyone's talking about going to a contender, but I could maybe see the Bears being a surprise team. How would you feel if the Bears went after Andre Johnson?
It was my understanding that Andre Johnson was pretty confirmed to go to Indianapolis.
Well, that's who he's going to he's going to look at the contenders first. But to me, I don't know. I kept looking at.
I also heard.
My first thought was he'd be good with the Bears.
Yeah.
And then I thought, oh, wait, the Bears aren't a contender like we thought they were last year.
The Bears are who we thought they were. But
we let them off the hook.
I think for a little bit when it comes to wide receiver, I was hearing the rumor of Eddie Royal coming to Chicago. I don't know how true that was. I don't even really know where that came from, but all of a sudden it was Eddie Royal going to Chicago. It hasn't been confirmed or anything yet.
You do need a guy to go over the middle, like a short guy.
But here's my thing for the Bears. I think right now, when you look at what happened with getting McPhee out there, the guy who confirms, yes, we are a 3-4 base defense now. That is what this is.
Oh, that's important.
Yeah, that sold it right there. But this being the first signing that Pace does says, okay, first of all, Vic Fangio, what does McPhee have? Extremely long arms. This guy's got reach. That shows what's important for this team, getting to a quarterback. But also here, it's saying that, hey, defense is important. We're willing to let Marshall go. And what I actually want, you can get a guy like Eddie Royal. I'm fine with that. Don't go for any top wide receivers that are going to cost a lot of money. Don't draft a top wide receiver that's going to cost a lot of money. Let the offense struggle. Let it struggle. Build that defense. We'll worry about the offense later. Because this is what I fear with the offense. As soon as Marshall was gone, I feared that the Chicago Bears offense, and I was still, firm believer Jay Cutler was coming back, but all of a sudden I had a fear of, well, if you don't have Brandon Marshall, what's the point? Go ahead and get rid of Jay Cutler at this point. Sure, take that $15 million cap hit, whatever. But also, Matt Forte. Go ahead and get rid of him too. If you're going to, my initial reaction was, if you're going to get rid of Brandon Marshall, the best weapon on offense, then just hit the reset button.
Well, and I'm looking at a article on ESPN where they have like free agent grades and they're updating it when deals come in. When you look under the McPhee signing for the Bears, the bottom line, it's a good thing for Bears fans. It says McPhee has the potential to become the face of the Bears' new look defense.
I hope he does.
Not
really
the Lance Briggs who, you know what, I just want to get out of town. I'm supposed to be the face, but I'm just going to sit here and do nothing.
Yeah, and we when it comes to linebackers, DJ Williams, who is going to be a 4-3, inside linebacker, he's gone. He's out of here. Not that he was anything to be that thrilled about. Although another reaction, of course, with McPhee was, we have like 3 young linebackers that we've drafted in the past couple of years that are all fighting for now one spot. Okay, have fun, guys. That really shows how well the last era did. But I don't know. For me, as a Bears fan, I say let the offense struggle. Go hard on defense.
Monsters in the midway. That's when you were most successful.
Oh, yeah. But we got to be pressing that reset button soon, right? You're going to have guys.
On the offense or on the team?
The defense is already
reset.
Yeah, it's already being reset.
You released the cancer of Chris Conte, so
Chris Conte's gone, which
so you remove the tumor. You're hoping all the scar tissue.
Yeah, that is a weight off my shoulders having Chris.
Who are
Conte
we gonna make fun of on the podcast now?
Oh, I'm sure somebody will step.
Where Chris Conte's going, right?
To the Buccaneers.
Going to the Buccaneers.
Where else is Chris Conte going to play
Lovey
in the NFL?
signed Major Wright. He's going to give Brian Urlacher a call. He's going, hey, Lancey, you want to come down to Tampa, play some football for me?
Bears South. But most importantly, Chris Conte, of course. Yeah, it's just, I don't know. For me, Jay Cutler's probably, 2015, Jay Cutler's our quarterback. 2016, he's probably not.
No.
No guarantee, but they're probably going to find a way. And I think it was Adam Schefter who said the Bears had the ability to take a $5 million cap hit in 2016 and a $5 million cap hit in 2017 with getting rid of Jay Cutler. Spreads it out, makes it a little easier to handle than just a straight up $15 million cap hit.
Here's the good thing for the Bears, and you want to hear it?
Sure.
The 2 guys that they got in Pace and who's the other one?
Fox or Gakes?
Not Fox.
Fangio.
I'm talking, Fangio. One's from the Giants, one's from the Saints. They both have rings. They both have rings from where they came from. So if they can get rings with the Giants and with the Saints and rebuild those 2 teams, why can't they do the same with Chicago? You know what I'm saying?
Vic Fangio with the Giants?
I'm pretty sure. Pretty sure he was there when they got one of the rings. He had to be there for one.
He's a 49ers guy.
No, not Vic Fangio then. McPhee and the VP guy you signed.
Pace? Pace from the Saints.
Pace, and no, there was 2. I swear, there's 2 guys. One's from the Giants, one's from the Saints.
You've done this before with the Giants. It's Ernie Acossi that was.
Yes,
but he was the consultant.
So he's no longer with the Bears.
He had nothing to do with the Bears. He was just consulting with the decision.
Well, Pace
to hire
Pace
Fox.
has a Super Bowl ring. That's what I'm referring to.
To hire Pace, not
Yes.
Fox. But,
I mean, he had a Super Bowl ring. He helped hire Pace. Pace has a Super Bowl ring. So why can't Pace be the guy to bring a Super Bowl ring to Chicago?
Hey, if the Bears are going to win Super Bowl rings, I mean, not now, but this is the organization or the administration that can do it.
And okay, we're right here. We're getting to the kind of like the 2-minute warning of the podcast here. We're going to go quick hits on some free agent signings. You ready for this?
Yes.
Number 1, Ndamukong Suh to the Dolphins.
Yep. I mean, Ndamukong Suh, what a better place to play than Miami. He gets to play there. Mm-hmm. He gets to hang out with the Tannehills. It doesn't get any better than that. The weather is beautiful. Ndamukong, good decision. Good decision.
You know
also, thanks for getting out of the NFC North.
You know what I love about this? I remember when the Dolphins played the Bears this year, and I was watching that game because we live in Chicago.
That we do.
And the announcers talked about, hey, you know what? The reason why on this play the ends were able to get to Jay Cutler and meet him at the same time is because the guy who was, I can't remember who it was the nose tackle, drew the double team, and basically the DEs came in untouched. Mm-hmm. Ndamukong Suh's bigger than that guy. Ndamukong Suh's going to get double teamed each time. These pass rushers on the outside are just going to run free.
Yeah.
They are just going to go crazy fast. Just boom, right to the quarterback.
I mean,
every time.
Every team in the AFC East is trying their hardest right now to compete because they got the Super Bowl champion sitting there. I'm
going to say this right now.
Be careful.
Bold prediction.
You make a lot of them.
The Dolphins will be a wild card team this season.
Interesting. I don't know. We're going to have to see how Tannehill steps up.
Patriots are still my division winner right now for next season, but the Dolphins will, based on this signing alone, they'll make the playoffs. They'll be a wild card team. How about Jeremy Maclin to the Chiefs reuniting with Andy Reid? Will he catch a touchdown?
Someone's got to, right? But yeah, I mean, I think this is good for sure. The Chiefs need somebody. That's what we were talking about. I think it was last week where the Chiefs needed to go and grab one of these top wide receivers. And this is definitely the right way to go. Yeah,
to me, I love it because not only are you grabbing a guy that can be your top number one receiver, gives Alex Smith someone to throw to, Andy Reid's comfortable with him, knows how to coach him. So it's not like a guy's coming in, it's like, I don't know how he's going to be in the locker room. Andy Reid knows exactly what he's getting out of Jeremy Maclin. We're going to go a little bit south, back to Florida. Julius Thomas. Signing with the Jacksonville Jaguars?
Now, somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure I called this in the last podcast. I feel like I would, at least it's a strong possibility.
Yes.
I said this man was going to go get paid because he was not being paid in Denver, and he's going to go somewhere that pays him the big bucks. Just like Ndamukong Suh, hanging out in Florida. It doesn't get better than Florida. The Jacksonville Jaguars, actually an organization on the rise.
You know what I like the most about this? Is Julius Thomas, if I'm not mistaken, I'm going to look it up for myself. He's a young guy.
Oh, yeah.
So he's not old. It's not like he's the Andre Johnson that we talked about, where it's like, oh, you know what?
One last ride.
Well, I kind of need that Super Bowl right now. He was born in 89, or not 89, 88. So he's about a year or two older than us, maybe 3 years older than you.
It's nice because you have a situation where he can say, hey, Bortles is young. I'm young.
Oh, Bortles.
We got the rock.
Bortles is young. Bortles
build around us.
He's a good place to build. You might need a running back who's a little bit better than Storm Johnson and Toby Gernhardt. I forgot he was down there.
Because most people did forget he was there.
But here's the thing that everyone is forgetting about Julius Thomas. His numbers are going to be nowhere near what they were last season.
It's tough when you don't have
because
Peyton
he doesn't have Peyton Manning throwing to you. And that's the one thing that I think watching fantasy, it's going to go Jimmy Graham, Julius Thomas. And the one thing I'm going to tell you right now, fantasy owners, be weary of Julius Thomas because Blake Bortles is no Peyton Manning.
Oh, those tight ends, wide receivers for fantasy, those rankings just shifted big time. There's a lot of movement on those rankings. It's going to be interesting when we get to it in June, July, when we start talking fantasy.
Torrey Smith to the 49ers.
Yeah. Well, Torrey Smith just kind of hanging around, doing the same old.
Hey, I thought that Torrey Smith was going to be a guy that the Bears go after. I mean, A guy, I mean, you got Alshon,
No.
but another guy on the outside, take the ball deep, take the top off the defense.
See, I mean, it definitely is a good option in that case.
Replace Brandon Marshall with Torrey Smith.
But
That's what I thought. That's what I was thinking the whole time, but it didn't happen.
No, I feel like they had to do. I mean, I like
I'm a Madden
letting
guy,
them
though.
suffer.
That's a Madden move. That is a straight Madden move.
Who was the other? Because I was mistaken on this. Who was like 2 years ago? Who came from Baltimore to the 49ers to be a wide
Anquan
receiver?
Bolden.
Yeah, that's right.
Anquan Bolden.
That's right. That's who I was
Went
thinking
from
of.
Arizona to Baltimore and then went to the 49ers.
Yeah. I mean, another thing, of course, Randall Cobb, we were talking about where he could go, and he decided, yeah, I'll stay.
Mm-hmm.
What's a better place than Aaron Rodgers, really? I'm trying to think of...
Aaron Rodgers. You mean Colin Kaepernick?
No, Randall Cobb.
Oh,
Randall
okay.
Cobb's staying.
You were talking Randall Cobb. I thought we were still on Torrey Smith.
No, there's better things out there than Colin Kaepernick.
Well, I mean, Randall Cobb, we knew he was going to stay in Green Bay. The one I'm thinking about even more, running back position, the Giants. What's the one position on offense they needed?
Everything.
Well, what's the number one you would say?
Probably the running back.
And they got it. Shane Vereen going from the Patriots. This is a touchy subject. When you go from Boston to New York, some people are going to hate you. Some people are going to hate you.
Yeah, it's going to have some enemies for sure. Fortunately, they don't play the same conference, so they're probably not going to touch each other.
Yeah, but I mean, you got New York, New England already hating each other.
Mm-hmm.
The Giants have defeated the Patriots twice in Super Bowls in recent history. I like this for Shane Vereen because he had a few breakout games with the Patriots. The Giants need somebody to help out Eli Manning.
He caught quite a few balls in the Super Bowl.
They need somebody to help out Eli Manning. Shane Vereen can be that guy. How about another running back, Frank Gore? Can he win a Super Bowl? Can the Colts win a Super Bowl with Frank Gore in their backfield?
The Colts still have a little bit of work to do, but some good things are coming their way. I say before that 3-year contract, 'cause if I remember right, it was a 3-year contract for Gore. Before that contract ends, they've got everything they need. They just got to make it happen.
Last but not least, it just broke not even an hour before we started recording this podcast. Yesterday, the Patriots said, you know what, we're not going to pick up the option on Darrelle Revis today.
That's right.
Darrelle Revis said, hey, you know what, I'm coming home. I'm going to be a Jet.
Very interesting. This one, I don't know. It's just like, you go, I do feel a little insulted if I'm a Jet fan. You leave us for a couple years. You go have your thing down in Florida. You enjoy the weather. Then you go to win a Super Bowl over in New England. And now you come back to us. You come back after winning. That hurts a little bit.
This has LeBron.
This
has LeBron written all over it.
It reminded me of that. And I remember we had the discussion when it first happened of what I was saying of like, LeBron has to win because you're going to win in South Beach, and then you're going to come back to Cleveland. You better win one for us, too.
Here's the thing, though. And the Darrelle Revis deal, it's a 5-year, $70 million deal.
He's not going to be there for 5 years.
He's 29. That would mean he's going to be there till he's 34?
It's tough.
As a cornerback?
He's a physical man.
As a physical cornerback, yeah.
That is tough.
He was drafted when I was a junior in high school. You were a sophomore.
Yeah. I mean, hey, maybe he can be, maybe a little bit the end of that's going to be kind of a coach, helping out the young guys.
So like a Peanut Tillman type thing?
Exactly. So that'll be interesting. I want to know, Ricky, though, real quick.
Okay.
Who would you say, this is just pretty much the first day of free agency, including trades and everything, who is currently winning and who's currently losing?
Who's currently winning to me?
Who's just gone away and they did?
I would say the top team coming out of day one has to be the Miami Dolphins, because you were a team that everyone was a little not super high on, but people are confident with you. You're uptrending. You were a 500 team last year. Now you added a guy on the defense that just this one signing, I think, can add them 2 wins. They could be a 10-6 team next season.
And people were kind of thinking for a little bit, too. I mean, we can't forget that everyone was kind of leaning towards the Raiders. People thought that Dominic was going to be a Raider.
And here's the thing.
Kind of surprised us.
The one reason why, and I had the wrong conference. I thought he was going to the Bills. The one reason why I think the Raiders would have been a good fit for Ndamukong Suh, he's got that bad boy image. Raider Nation, they have the bad boy image. Would have been a marriage made in heaven. but decided to go to South Beach, take his talents to South Beach. We've heard that before, but
Yeah, we have.
I think the Dolphins can be, I will say it right now, can be a 10-6 team with Ndamukong Suh. How about you? Who won the day?
So for the winner, I actually kind of like the Jets. I think they did a lot of things right, and this is including trades, so including getting Brandon Marshall.
Does it also include the releasing of Percy Harvin?
That definitely helps. I mean, Percy Harvin wasn't doing anything good for you. But getting Brandon Marshall out there, yeah, it's not going to be the same Brandon Marshall that came to Chicago, but it's still going to be very good. Getting Darrelle Revis back there, that is fantastic, even just for the fan service of, hey, we got this guy back. But, of course, you can't deny the greatness, the genius that was the St. Louis Rams. They just did it. They did what they had to do. They got rid of a burden that was Sam Bradford. And for what seems like a steal. With that being said,
I feel like this answer, the loser of the day, is going to be the same answer from us.
Probably.
I'm saying the Eagles.
Yeah, it's the Eagles.
It's got to be because, I'm taking the Kiko Alonso McCoy trade, leave that out. Yeah, you lose Macklin.
But those are good. But they weren't great.
Not that bad. The things that hurt that I feel like they lose is because, first off, the Nick Foles Sam Bradford trade was absolutely horrible. I hated the trade.
What is going on?
And I'm going to see what ESPN gave them as a grade, but that I did not like. I feel like Sam Bradford's worse. You gave up too much for that. ESPN gives the Eagles a C+ for that trade. They actually give the Rams a C- for the trade.
I don't get it. I just don't get it.
Also, not only that, you lose out on Frank Gore. That combined with the trade, they're the biggest loser of the day.
And, it's not even that, too. It's just the fact that now you are so reliant on the draft going exactly as you plan. And that's scary. I don't know. I just don't. I'm waiting for that. I'm waiting for the O moment.
The O moment.
Please, Chip Kelly, bestow me with the O moment before you get kicked out of the NFL, please. Because I don't want to see it happen. I like Chip Kelly. I don't want him getting kicked out.
I do. I think, and the one thing I like about him, he knows how to set a culture in the NFL. And,
he certainly does.
And hey, if the one thing that will be his demise is he tried to be the smartest guy in the locker room. But that is going to do it this week for the Onside Kick. I want you to leave your comments down below. Tell us what you think about anything that we talked about today. What was your favorite move? What you thought was the best move from day one of the NFL free agency season? The new year is upon us in the NFL. Make sure check out our Patreon page, patreon.com/Most Valuable Podcast. That link will be down below. Also, check out our tournament challenge on ESPN. The group is called Most Valuable Podcast. We'll leave a link for you also down below in the description. Also, next week, stay tuned. Check our Facebook and our Twitter at Most Valuable Pod and Most Valuable Podcast on Facebook for our sports movie brackets. We have 32 sports movies set out in 4 regions. Who's going to win? Who's the best sports movie of all time? Thanks for listening, and as always, have a good day, everybody.
Thank you for listening to this MVP podcast. Follow us on Twitter at Most Valuable Pod for more great podcasts.